Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast. This is Ari. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Anya.
Hi.
What up? What up? This is Shan, and this is Cozy Womb Podcast. Welcome! And for those of you who've been listening, welcome back. Today, we're talking about healthy signs of affection for kids. And I think today that's way more apparent that a lot of kids today are not being shown healthy displays of affection based upon how they act, based upon how they carry themselves, based upon how they treat other people, based upon, when they grow up, how they carry themselves in their own relationships, and the lack of a connection with their own children when they become adults. And I feel like parents today, I don't care for what culture you come from, need to hug each other when they greet each other. Need to show respect. Need to kiss on the cheek if it's your mother or your father. Need to say the words "I love you" back and forth. What else are healthy displays of affection? Holding chairs for when the elderly sits down, or when you see a woman come on the train or come on the bus or in a crowded room and you have a seat as a male, get up to greet, people with that hug handshake. You know what I'm talking about, the one that you do in church where you kind of like hold their back a little bit and you shake their hand. Things like that. Those are healthy displays of affection. Not making everything so, you must be this, or you must be that, or you must be a human being. You may see somebody fall down, or somebody struggling to get up, and you may help them. Somebody may be crying, you don't really know them, but you may console them. Those are healthy displays of affection, and I think a lot of women were once girls who did not see healthy displays of affection. I think men were once boys who did not see other men display healthy displays of affection. Like as a woman who has a son, you're always going to hug your son. You're always going to kiss on your son. You're always going to console your son. But today is kind of rare that you see a father around his son on a consistent basis, and also consoling his son on a consistent basis, hugging his son on a consistent basis, telling him that he loves him on a consistent basis. And I feel like kids need that now more than ever, because once they go out into the world and you're no longer with them, there's so much against them where they have to fight that and also go to school and learn, and also interact with other kids, and also achieve more, and also feel comfortable to be within their imagination. And I don't think you can comfortably do that or confidently do that if you're afraid to show emotion, you're afraid to share emotional thoughts with other people, or you're just completely shut down because nobody ever told you, hey, to have tears about a certain subject is okay. Hey, to feel sad about this is okay. Like, nobody's showing you that. You've never seen your father cry, or your uncle cry, or your grandfather cry. So as a boy, going into a teenager, then into an adult, then into a man, it's a harder transition. A woman that doesn't really get hugs from her mom, doesn't really get that guidance from her mom, is not really given the knowledge that she needs to have in order to protect herself in a world where people will try to use her, mistreat her, talk down to her. If you don't give your young daughters that at home, they're going to look for that somewhere else, because they're going to see their friends maybe have two parents who give them the proper display of affection, and they're going to crave that, and they may crave that somewhere else. If you have a teenage daughter right now, and for whatever reason you are not around her on a consistent basis, whether you're the father or the mother, I suggest you fix that. Because a teenager, as a girl, especially if she doesn't have that father around on a consistent basis or that mother around on a consistent basis, she's going to have to figure out the world by herself with her own thoughts, where she really doesn't know anything. And people are going to look at her like, oh, she don't know nothing, so let me tell her what life is. And that person may not know anything either. And so you just have a whole bunch of people who don't know nothing trying to teach each other and lead each other in a stupid path where they don't need to go. So to avoid all of that, hug on your kids. Tell your kids that you love them. Tell them that you're proud of them. Encourage them. Kiss them. Do whatever you need to do to push them to be better. Pat them on the back. My 1-year-old may do some things. I asked her to throw something in the trash. She take it to the trash can. We clapping for that. I asked her to go get me a pull-up. We clapping for that. I asked her to go bring me my phone. We clapping for that. Everything. My 5-year-old, I asked her to help Ari on the chair. We clapping for that. I asked her to read the story instead of me read the story at bedtime. I'm clapping for that, because there's a lot of kids that don't get the opportunity to show their parents what they can do. There's a lot of kids who know more than they should and don't get any props for that. There's a lot of kids who hide their intelligence because they're scared somebody's going to tease them for it. And proper displays of affection is going to make your child feel comfortable in who they are, comfortable in where they come from, secure, at peace, and most importantly, they're going to be completely open with you to share what they need to share. The last thing you want to do is make your child feel like they can't talk to you. So please, parents out there, uncles, aunties, cousins, if you know there's a kid out there who may not have a certain parent around or need a mentor, show them proper displays of affection. Allow them to see that it's okay to congratulate somebody on something. Show them that it's okay to shake a man's hand, look a adult in the eyes, all of that. Show them how it is to be courteous. Show them how it is to be compassionate. I feel all of that needs to be shown to a kid. That's why it doesn't do a child any good to be in a home with two parents who fight and yell and cuss and talk down to each other on a consistent basis. That's why I'm not pro stay in this relationship no matter how toxic it is for the kids. I'm not pro that, because I've been in a home where both of my parents were in there, and you can cut the tension with a knife. We went to church on Sunday. We ate dinner. My mom cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner, every day of the week, and you could still not feel like, oh, everything's all good. And I don't like being in the middle of people's tension. And as I got older, I didn't understand what my parents' relationship was at that time because I was so young. But as I got older, I understood it. And they should have never been together. But again, because it looks like it should work, doesn't mean that you should stay. Sometimes your parents could be greater parents separately. And I think as adults who have kids, you need to take heed on that. You know, if you could be your best self away from another parent, but still parent that child, do so. Like, that child deserves to have both parents be in a good mindset, a mindset while they raise you. Like, it's not fair to a child to be in the middle of adult mess. So, you know, if your environment where you're raising your kid is not healthy, remove them from it. Get out of it. Do whatever you need to do for yourself for you to be an independent parent. And I'm not saying ruin relationships with another parent. I'm just saying make sure your child is in a comfortable, safe, positive environment, and just consistently show them affection. Like, I can't tell you the last time I gave my mother a hug. And it's not that we're on bad terms or not. It's just in a Caribbean household, in a Caribbean family, they're just not really naturally affectionate to each other. And a lot of my relatives treat one another like complete strangers. And sad to say, the only way we get together at the time we get together is when somebody passes away. And how I raise my daughters, I don't want that to be that. So I would purposely randomly make myself think to go hug Anya. I would purposely randomly make myself think to tell Aria I love her, even though she can't say it back right now. But I just want to get her familiar with the words. I purposely hold her hand or make her hold Ari's hand. Or I'll watch them from a different room and see how they interact with one another when they don't know I'm looking. Like, I peep all of that. And I make sure anybody I'm interacting with, it's not on anything negative, because I don't want them to see that that's something that should be accepted. So just be aware of what your kid sees. Just be on your P's and Q's as an example, because you are examples of what your kids should be or what they should not. And I want to be on the side of what they should aim to be and surpass. So that's all I wanted to share. It's just a sit-in. It's raining today, and I just really want to go home. But I ain't got nothing to cook. Oh, I gotta go to the store. Bye. Y'all be safe.
Good night, good night, good night, good night.